cross-legged seat. Find a comfortable way for your hands to rest. You might turn your palms facing upward if that feels good to you today. This feels to me like I'm drawing in energy, I'm opening up, whereas palms face down feels a little more grounding. So choose what feels better to you and sort of fascinate on that. It's a simple shift. And then you can begin to focus on your breath. You might close your eyes if that feels good and makes the breath more accessible. You can always just have a soft gaze forward and down, and every day could be different. Start to breathe in and out through your nose, if breathing through the nose is accessible today. And feel the long, steady inhalation through your nose. And exhale through your nose, nice and slow, slowing down your breath, stretching it out so that you can really take your time to feel each breath, each moment of the breath, savor it. So can you feel the air coming in through your nostrils, feeling for how you fill your lungs with breath and expand your rib cage? And slow, steady exhale, you might feel the warmer air exiting the nose and feel your diaphragm movement and the rib cage relaxing. And continue like that for the next several breaths, just arriving inside of your skin. And today I want to orient around playfulness. So our intention today will be to practice with a sense of play, a sense of childlike wonder, possibility, playfulness. So I'll be offering moments where you can move freely, and I also invite you to just find some movements that might feel a little bit different than, holding strong warrior poses. Maybe it's just like a ripple through your shoulders or what have you. So playfulness today. Let's take a deep inhale. Exhale it out. And you can open your eyes and send your legs out wide. So you might have seen kids sit like this. And how is it for you? Can you sit maybe with a blanket underneath your bum? You can sit up a little bit taller. You could be close to a wall. If sitting upright in this position is challenging, do get a blanket. You can bring the legs closer together. You can always go back to cross-legged if that's what you need for your body. So your legs are out, and I want you to spread through the balls of your feet and point through the toes and then roll them back. And just take a few moments, and you can start to maybe move your knees and just feel the full movement of your foot as you pull the toes, scrunch them up, pull back, and then spread the toes and push forward. And then scrunch the toes, roll the foot in, and feel if you can really get each moment of that. Pulling the toes in and then reaching out. Now let's move into a side bend. Go straight out to the left. Inhale your right arm up and exhale into your side stretch. Feel how your right hip got a little bit loose as you stretch and lean away from it. Can you root down? It didn't get loose, it lifted up from the floor. Light, that's what I was looking for. Root down your right hip, right leg. Keep spreading open the bones of your feet. The feet are now static, but can you push through the ball of the foot at the same time that you push through your heel? And then reach your breath into the right side of your rib cage. And take a big breath into the stretch that you're feeling. Maybe you find a good spot for your head to be so your neck can relax. And then take your top arm and let's reach it to the right and let that bring you up and go over to the other side. Take your right hand out, inhale, left arm up, and exhale into your side bend. Draw your shoulders down, feel the length of the whole left side of your body. Neck is relaxed. Root down through the left hip and spread open left side ribs. Breath is slow, steady, and deep. Take your top arm, reach it back, and inhale, come on up. Now bring the soles of your feet together into Baddha Konasana and feel this opening. You can flap your wings in butterfly a little bit if you want. And from here, we're going to do a little tractioning of the hips. So lean to your left, let your right hip come up off of the floor. Grab onto your thigh bone, your femur bone, and draw it out. Just pull it away from the hip, and you might feel like I feel a little relief, a little spaciousness in the ball and socket joint of my hip. Come back down. Keep tractioning out your thigh bone. Right hand up against the hip bone, and you're going to press down and out towards the knee. Take your left hand out to the side and twist to the left. So you're tractioning the right thigh bone. You're pressing down and gently out towards the knee and twisting away from it. So for me, this feels really great in my outer right hip. It feels good in the inner groin. Where does it feel good for you? And if there's no good feeling, change it. Find out if you can make it feel better for you. So I'm just giving the hip joint a little bit of love, a little bit of attention. And there's also this twist happening in your upper body. So feeling your chest as you inhale, send chest towards that left knee. And exhale completely. And you're inhaling. When I say send the chest towards the knee, I just mean in the direction. It may be plenty far away from it, but it's in that general direction. And release. Come on up and lean over to the right. Grab onto your left thigh bone. Gently just coax it out away from, so it's a ball and socket. There's a ball on the top of your thigh bone and it fits right into that socket of your hip. And we're creating just a little bit of a traction here. As you press down and out with your left hand, twist to the right. You can press the balls of your feet into each other and pull your toes back. Feel what that feels like to activate the inner leg line in particular. Inhale your chest over towards that right thigh, feeling for how you're creating some space there. Okay, and release. Come on up. Let's make our way to all fours. Next is a very playful cat-cow. You get to pad your knees if you want. Use props, use blocks, or no blocks. And start to move your spine. So Halloween cat shape and into your cow shape today. You can make this into a unicorn instead of a cow. So you can take one hand and make your little unicorn horn. Get playful. Those of you that teach young kids, they might like that cat and unicorn. So you can take your hand, make your unicorn horn. Be really playful with it. Come on, y'all. And round. And enjoy just maybe wagging your tail. I should have worn my unicorn socks. And you might take some circles, hip circles, shoulder rolls. How does your body want to be playful today? And from there, when you're ready, you can move into a child's pose, just taking a moment to just relax your body in this big forward fold moment. Deepen your breath. Allow yourself to just arrive. Maybe it's the first time today that you've really focused on you. Celebrate that. And let's come on up for a downward facing dog. If downward facing dog is the next pose, you're going to lift your hips up. You can have your knees really, really bent. You can start to bend one knee and then the other. You can have your knees down and do a puppy dog, stretching your arms forward. If you're in puppy dog, you could walk your hands to one side and then the other, getting a side bend. And if you're in downward facing dog, you're walking it out. Maybe your body wants to do all of the above. But make sure you're moving slowly and moving with your breath, arriving into this moment, feeling what's true for you. How are you right now? And then come on down to all fours. Let's come to tabletop. So you've got your shins pressing into the earth and your hands, they're shoulder distance apart and you're pressing into the earth. So as you press the earth away, feel your shoulder blades spread away from the spine. Feel the press evenly through each shin and each hand, and then lift your left arm and your right leg. Your right leg can lift up, the toes could also stay down. Do what feels good. Take a breath here. And then exhale the hand and the shin down, and then go to the other side, right arm, left leg. Inhale. And exhale. Now back to left arm and right leg. Inhale. And let's curl it in. Bring your elbow to your knee, knee to the elbow, and round your spine. And any amount that you can approximate this, if it's challenging to get the elbow to the thigh, then just bringing the knee into the chest or towards the chest is great. Now bring the hand and the leg down and go to the other side. Inhale, right arm, left leg. And exhale, curl in. You can stay with that or join me in downward facing dog. If you move to downward facing dog, you're going to lift your right leg up. So you continue the way we were doing it with arm and elbow meeting the thigh, or you're now in downward facing dog, come forward to a plank and pull your knee into your chest. And then inhale, go back to downward facing dog, put the right leg down, take the left leg up. If you're on all fours, left leg, right arm, and exhale, curl in. All right, you can keep with the same movement you're doing or come up into downward facing dog. If you have not, let's lift the right leg. Keep moving, doing what you're doing. Let's do one more on each side in your own time, playing with, you're turning on your core. You're also getting a little more flexible in your hips. If you're in downward dog, you're turning on and strengthening the upper body a little bit too. Finish. And let's walk the feet up to where the hands are. Take your time, and we're going to end up in Uttanasana, forward fold, at the front of the mat. So your feet are hip distance apart. Knees can be very, very bent. Hold opposite elbows and just let your head hang. You can take this as a little ragdoll moment. I like to bend one knee and then the other and just let my body kind of dangle. Maybe let the arms go. Get really playful with it. Shake your head yes and no. And then as you're ready, I invite you to roll your way up to stand. And you'll come all the way up and stand and pause. Here we are, mountain pose. Feel your feet rooting down, your shoulder blades on your back, turn your palms face forward. Pause and breathe. We're going to do some shoulder warm-ups. So put your fingertips on your shoulders. Take a deep inhale. And exhale, roll your shoulders up. Keep breathing in and out. And then roll the other way. Great, inhale, reach up. Grab onto your left wrist with your right first finger and thumb, so it looks like this. And you're gonna reach up and lean. You can bring your feet together if that feels good. So I'm leaning to my right, I'm holding onto my left wrist and bumping my hips to the left. And feel How are your feet? Can you evenly press into each foot? Take another breath in. Lengthen upward with the spine to lean over. So it's not just a lean over, there's an arc upward and over. Like you're trying to go over a barrel. And then come up and change sides. Inhale, lengthen that right arm, your left hand, first finger and thumb hooking around the wrist and lengthen over to the side. Bump your hips to the right, push down evenly into both feet. Take a feeling breath into this shape. You could call this, if you're teaching in your classroom, you know, a banana shape or a crescent moon. And come on up and bring your arms down by your side. All right, let's move a little bit more. All right, inhale, reach your arms up, half sun salutation. Exhale, folding forward, knees are soft. You want to grab your blocks if you need them, or you could do this in front of a chair and put your hands on a chair, the blocks, or your shins, or the floor. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale, folding in. And inhale, rise up, reach up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Again, inhale, reach up. Exhale, swan dive forward. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, fold in. Again, press down into your feet and rise up, reach up, look up. Exhale, hands to your heart. All right, let's move on from here. Inhale, reach up, full sun salutation A. Exhale, fold forward. You can soften through your knees. Take a halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, fold in. Step all the way back as you inhale, set up for your plank. Plank is the top of a push-up. You can always come to all fours or a half plank. Half plank, your knees are down, but it's an inclined plane with your upper body. It's quite different from all fours. From here, exhale, bend your elbows straight back. And as you bend your elbows back, slow it down, slowly lower as far as you can, and then bring yourself all the way to the mat. Hands forward 10 inches or so. Grip the floor. Elbows are up, but they're off the mat. They're bent. Press tops of feet into the mat and pull your chest forward and up, opening up your heart. And exhale, ease on down and head back to all fours and into downward facing dog. Let's take a full breath here. Inhale, lifting your tail up to the sky. Stay here, exhale. Maybe you keep that tail lifted, but ease your heels towards the mat. Now look forward between your hands and walk or step your feet up to where your hands are. Exhale completely here. And inhale, rise up. And exhale, hands to your heart. All right, we're going to start to add on to that. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold in. Take a full inhalation to go back to your plank position. And exhale, come down. This time playing with Cobra. I invite you to put your fingertips, just the fingertips. So you make little tents, little spiders with your hands, and your elbows are high. Your arms are out to the sides. My hands are wider than my shoulders, and you can see just a little bit in front of the shoulders. You're going to press down with your feet, and as you inhale, roll the elbows down and lift up any amount. And then exhale, roll back down, and the elbows go out to the side again. Inhale, come up, and exhale, come down. You don't have to go up and down as much as I am. You don't have to go as high. If it doesn't feel good, do the other one that we did, low cobra or sphinx. If you're playing, just feeling what you can do up on your fingertips. The fingertips gives you a little more mobility in the wrist. All right, coming down, move your hands under shoulders, press up to all fours and back to downward facing dog. All right, let's step the right foot forward between the hands and come into Virabhadrasana 2. That's your warrior 2 pose. And we'll pause here in warrior 2. So you're going to line up your front heel with the center arch of the back foot or heel to heel, or something like that that feels best in your body. You can calibrate that for yourself. Relax your arms in front of your thighs. Let's do a shoulder shrug here. Take a deep inhale into your upper back. Hold the breath. Lift your shoulders up by your ears. Keep holding your breath. Take your shoulders straight back. Squeeze the shoulder blades together and drag them down. Inhale into your upper back. Exhale, move the middle border of your shoulder blades together and draw it down. Bend your elbows. Inhale into upper back. Exhale, send the bottom tips of your shoulder blades and your elbow tips, like you could touch your elbows back there. You actually can't, but try. And then squeeze and draw down. And then roll it out. And let's come into extended side angle. Right forearm onto the thigh, left arm up and over by your ear. Draw your shoulders down away from that front thigh, away from your ears, and lift your right ribs away from the thigh. There you go. That's a little more space in there. And then reach that left arm long. So you feel one long line of your left side from the fingertips to the outer edge of your foot. And deepen your breath. All right, from here, sweep your hands down. Make your way back to all fours or to plank or skip it. You could come right back to downward facing dog if that would be the best choice for your body. You can come forward into a plank from there and lower down. Let's do a cobra, hands underneath the shoulders, tops of feet pressing down, and inhale, only come up as high as your upper body can with, you're not using your hands to lift you up. Exhale, come on down and press back. The hands work a little bit in Cobra, but not a lot. They're not lifting you up as much as your back muscles are turned on and working. All right, let's step the left foot forward between the hands. Virabhadrasana 2. Relax your arms in front of your thighs. Let's get that shoulder shrug in there. Take a deep inhale into your upper back. Hold the breath, shoulders up, shoulders straight back. Now exhale, squeeze those shoulder blades, just kind of milk them together and drag them down. Kind of like you're like flossing between your shoulder blades. Inhale into your upper back. Exhale, squeeze the middle border of the shoulder blades together, squeeze and draw down. Bend your elbows, inhale into your upper back. And exhale, squeeze the shoulder blades together and drag it down. All right, reach your arms out, inhale, and exhale, left forearm onto your thigh, and reach your right arm up and over by your ear. Press strongly into the outer edge of your right foot and feel that reach. Can you create any amount more space just by breathing and bringing your awareness inward? All right, sweep that top arm down and we'll step back to all fours. We'll do dolphin pose today, and this is a forearm version of downward facing dog. So you're on your forearms, the rest of your body is like a downward facing dog. That being said, you could do forearms down and knees down, sort of a prelude to a dolphin. Your dolphin pose, your forearms are parallel, or you could clasp your hands. So you either have like forearms parallel to each other, line up your middle finger with your wrist with your elbow, and your elbows are shoulder distance apart, or clasp your hands. Press the earth away. And so feel those broadening across your shoulder blades. Lengthen your tail up. Maybe you lift the hips up. And your head hangs freely. The head is not touching the floor at all. Just let that head hang. Feel how this opens up the upper back in a really interesting way. It creates some strength there too. Let's turn on the chest muscles by energetically squeeze your elbows towards each other like they're magnetized. Inhale, press forward and down through your whole forearm.
Exhale, squeeze the elbows inward towards each other. If you have a little more room to move, maybe you're taking a right leg up into the air. So you could do this on your forearms. You could have your knees down with a leg up. You could also skip the forearms and be in downward facing dog with the leg up. That works as well. All right, let's bring the right foot down and take the left leg up. If you're with me with the leg up, let's go to the left. Inhale, press forward and down through your forearms, and use your exhale just to relax your neck, and you can connect into your strong, powerful core as you exhale. All right, bring the left leg down. Let's come all the way down, and then back into downward facing dog. Virabhadrasana 1, step your right foot forward between the hands. In Warrior 1, we're going to face that short edge of the mat, and you'll reach your arms up, have a nice deep bend in the front knee, as deep as you can do without any pain, and also keep your knee right over the heel, right on top of it. And take a breath here, just opening up the whole front body. Maybe this feels particularly spacious if you've spent a lot of time looking at a computer today, or even driving in a car. We tend to kind of collapse forward. So opening up, and let's increase that opening of the chest. Reach back, interlace your fingers behind you, drag the shoulders down, and take a breath here, opening up your heart. As you exhale, humble warrior, you're going to come forward. As you fold forward, you can rest on your front thigh. You might have a little more room to move and rest, hang out to the inside of your thigh. And then feel into your shoulders and shoulder blades. Can you take those shoulders, in this case, up your back? They're going away from your ears. Go up, and then gently bring the arms forward. So you don't have to jam your arms forward. Relax your neck, let your head hang. We'll stay for another couple breaths here. All right, release your hands. Put your back knee down. You might pad the knee. We're going to come into a squared off lunge. So both legs are at a 90-degree angle. Knee over the heel, my hip right over the back knee. And we'll move into a twist. Right hand on top of right thigh, press it down. Inhale, reach your left arm up. And exhale, take the left elbow to the thigh. If you have a little more room to move, you can take your right arm, thread it underneath, grab onto your left rib cage, and then draw your left rib cage into the twist. So you can help yourself. If you have the room to do this move, it might feel good. You can keep your hands in prayer or fist with a bottom hand and a flat hand on top of it. I do that because it feels better on my wrist. That's an option. Another option, if you have more room to move, is to get down a little bit lower and open your arms, or even bind. Take a moment in whatever you just chose to do for your twist and feel this delicious twist as you wring out and twist around the axis of your spine. Opening up the chest, maybe you look up. And release. Put your hands down. You're going to walk your front foot forward and bow over your front leg for a breath or two in a forward fold, giving your hamstring a little bit of attention. If having your knee down is not feeling great, pat it, fold over left side of the mat. If you need some blocks, put blocks underneath your hands. And you can bow forward. You could be bowing forward a lot like I am, or a little bit. You can push the ball of your foot towards the earth, or flex that foot for even more hamstringy stretch. Never overdo it. Always listening to your body. All right, to come out, let's move really slowly, bringing that foot back in, making your way back to a plank and all the way down onto your belly for Shalabhasana, locust pose. Take your arms by your sides and inhale, lift the feet, the hands, the heart. Draw the shoulders down, reach back through your fingertips, open the chest. And exhale, come on down and head back to downward facing dog. All right, step your left foot forward between your hands, coming into warrior one. And just pausing so you really feel and establish your foundation, because that's so important. Your heels are lined up with your hips. You've got some space in your hips and you're feeling balanced, strong, and open up your chest and the front body. Relax your shoulders down. Let's take a deep inhale here. Interlace your fingers behind your back. Inhale, open the chest. Exhale, slowly come on forward. So as you come forward, you can rest to the inside of the thigh or you can hang out on top of the thigh. And relax your neck, let your head go. How's your breath? Make sure you're breathing and let's transition. Hands come down, back knee comes down. Maybe you want to pad the knee. That's entirely up to you. You can fold over the right side of your mat. Left hand on top of the thigh. We're going into a twist first. Take a deep inhale and reaching the right arm up. Exhale, right elbow to the thigh. And take your twist. Remember we did that moment of left arm's going to thread through, grab a hold of right ribs, and bring the ribs forward into the twist. If you can reach it, if there's room, that might be a nice move. It feels good to me. Draw the shoulders away from your ears, open the chest. And you can go into any variation of this twist that feels right. Slowly release. Face your front leg. We're headed into that half split, Ardha Hanumanasana. Grab blocks, grab props. You might want to pad your knee now if you didn't before. And fold over your front leg. All right, let's come on out of that and find your way to the front of your mat. You can step forward or you can just make your way up to the top of your mat. And let's balance today in extended hand to foot. Padangustasana. Stand on your left leg. You're going to hold either holding the knee, your right knee. You can go to a wall too. Have a wall. Here's a great way to do a wall. Helping you out is to put your hand on the hip and have just the elbow against the wall. It kind of keeps you honest because when we have the hand, we tend to like love up on the wall. And the point is that you really want to be balancing, but you're just using the wall a little bit and that elbow kind of helps. So try that if you want. Balance in the room if you want. Balance on the moon, I almost said. All right, so you're holding onto the knee. Maybe you can hold on to the big toe. So your knee can stay bent and you can hold on to the toe. And you're holding onto the big toe with the thumb on the outside and the peace fingers on the inside between the toe and the first finger. And maybe this is where you hang out. Maybe you can straighten the leg or start to straighten it. Your standing leg stays straight. The top leg, that's the leg that can be bent. And take this first moment, reaching out, feeling your balance. And then when you're ready, take it out just about 45 degrees. It doesn't go very far out to the side. We tend to err on the side of taking it all the way sideways. It doesn't go that way. Relax your right hip down and feel the connection of where you're holding onto the leg and your shoulder. Is your shoulder joint, are you reaching away from your body? Can you pull that shoulder blade and that arm bone back onto your body? So you're connected, chest, collarbones, very strong. Deep breath.
and release. Whatever you just did was amazing, good job, let's go to the other side. It's all play, right? So you're just balancing, you're figuring it out, and wobbling is part of learning. We all wobble, we all fall down. All right, holding on to the big toe, holding on to the knee. Maybe you've got that elbow against the wall to help you find the balance on your own. And breathe. Maybe the leg goes straight, maybe you keep it bent. And you can take it out 45 to the left. Very strong connection from your crown upward. And release. Let's come through chair pose. So go back to the front of your mat if you move. And sit down into chair. So Utkatasana. Your hips go back. Your weight goes to the heels. So you can see I can even lift my toes. Try that. Try lifting your toes. And take a moment here. Let your hips be a little bit buoyant, almost like you're in water, just like a little buoy. Feeling shoulder blades on your back. Plug the arm bones into the shoulder socket. Take a deep inhale. And exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold in. Take a full inhalation to step back to your plank and make your way down onto your belly. Reach your arms behind you and interlace your fingers. Drag your shoulders away from the ears. Lift the feet, the hands, and the heart. And take a moment here. Opening up your chest, reaching back to the toes, heart open. And release. Come on back to downward facing dog. And take a breath. All right, step your right foot forward. And come into a lunge with your fingertips on the floor. So a runner's lunge. You might have your hands on blocks. Your back knee is up. Let your hips descend towards the mat and let your knee start to bend so your knee hovers above the mat. If that feels okay on your knee, get to a spot where you're feeling a good hip stretch in a lot of different places. Inner groin, outer hip, maybe a little bit of hamstring, lower back, hip flexor. Take a breath. And then bring the knee down and pad your knee, your left knee. And here's an invitation to try, if there's no pain, bringing your heel in towards your butt. If that's not fun on your body and you want to try that kind of stretch, stand up. If your knees are sensitive, I want to offer this variation to you. So feeling like pressure in your knees in lunges, stack blocks. You've got a block tower and you can stack it whatever height your body needs and put it right underneath your right hip. Feel if you can stabilize that way, if that takes pain out, and then maybe grab the foot. And it's not like all your weight is now leaning onto the stool that you just created. The blocks are really there as a reminder, like, okay, I'm going to stabilize, but you've got to use the muscles of your body to stabilize. So I'll show you from the front. Looks like this. I stacked my blocks that high, but you might need higher. Make sure it's stable for you so that you're feeling good. And try that. For me, it's a really nice reminder. I did this a lot. I nursed myself back from a medial meniscus tear in my left knee. So I discovered this and it really helped a lot. So try that. All right, from here,
we are headed into a almost pigeon. And if pigeon is gonna be the right moment for you, go all the way into pigeon if you love it. But here's almost pigeon. I'm gonna take my right foot across. I'm gonna walk my hands forward and I'm almost in pigeon. My knee is up. Because for me and my body, this gives me a really interesting outer hip opening. If that's not true and you're like, I don't get it, I don't want it, put the shin down and come into pigeon. But if almost pigeon is interesting, remember, we're being playful. This is how we discover new things. And learn about ourselves, learn about our body, what our body likes, what we need, and know that there's always a variation that's going to work for you. All right, so finishing up with that, you're going to slowly come on up, step it back, and make your way right to downward facing dog or all fours. If you're in downward facing dog, I invite you to lift your right leg up, take the heel towards the opposite buttock, and you're opening up your right side body. Open it up. Now feel the twist. You're going to bring your right shoulder towards the earth. It wants to open to the right, face the earth, but keep your hips twisting open. So right shoulder's heavy, left knee, right knee is in the air, right shoulder heavy. And then release and put it down. Second side, left foot's coming forward. This is that runner's lunge moment. Maybe your hands are on the blocks and you're gonna bend your back knee so it hovers just above the mat. And you start to get that hip flexor, psoas, maybe outer hips, inner groins, a lot of good stuff in here. Get your breath into it. And then finally allow your knee to meet the earth. Maybe it's on some padding. Maybe you're going to stand for our hurdler stretch, bringing the heel in towards the butt. You're opening up the front of your right thigh, right hip flexor. And you can put that block tower underneath anytime you do a lunge. If it works for you, do it all the time. All right, coming into almost pigeon or pigeon. So feeling, if your body finds this interesting, to have the foot across and allowing gravity to kind of have your knee and the opening. It's the external rotation of your hip. It's the external rotation of your thigh bone, really, not the hip. Such a shame we have to end. All right, so we're gonna come out of that. I have one more thing that I really want to do because we're having fun. You can use 2 blocks. I want to show you lots of different ways to come into crow. It's an arm balance that for a lot of people is like, oh, no way can I do that? Well, I want to offer you a maybe yes way. All right. So here are lots of options. Ready? Here we go. You're in a squat. Take your feet wide. Put your hands wider than your shoulders. You're going to put that fleshy part of your inner knee on your tricep on one side. Just the fleshy part of the knee on your tricep on one side and lift one foot up. And then sit back down and then do the same thing on the other side. My hands are wide. This requires, you've got to be open in the hips. That's why we did a lot of hip opening. So I get it that if you're like, I can't even get down that low. Well, try this. You can perch on a block. You still have to have a lot of flexibility, right? So, you're just going at your own pace, doing what works. You can also do a squat and sit on the block, right? You can hang out here and put your hands down, all right? Those are options. Now, another thing to play with, check this out. Have two blocks. I'm going to put a blanket on top of this block that's upright, and I'm going to perch on this block. So what this front block is doing is it's going to keep me from fully falling forward. So if you're afraid that you're going to fall, take the fall out of the equation, doing something like this. Make sure it's padded and it's not really far away from you. It's like I'm just rocking forward and I bonk, but it helps me go, oh, wow, maybe I can lift my feet. So those are just some things to play with because they're maybe interesting or playful or fun. And finish up and meet me on your mat, on your back. So you're going to come down, you're going to take a moment to ground in constructive rest. So we just took flight in a lot of different ways. Now we arrive on the earth, knees bent, soles of feet on the floor, your heels underneath your knees. Take a moment, deep breath in and out. You might walk your feet a little bit further forward. Find out where your feet, your heels line up right underneath your knees to support you in lifting your hips up into bridge. So push down into your feet, lift your hips up. Little bit of a pelvic tilt. The bottom of your butt is lifting up towards the sky or towards the backs of the knees. So there's a real energetic force of top rim of your sacrum moving away from the lower back. Sit bones lifting up towards the backs of the knees. At the same time, your heart, your collarbones are lengthening and spreading wide. Back of the neck is long. You can grab a block, put it underneath your sacrum. You can walk your hands underneath. As you walk your shoulders under, just be gentle so you're not straining around the neck. You got about 5 more breaths to play in this shape, whatever you want to do with those 5 breaths. You can come down. And then slowly come all the way down onto your mat and hug your knees into your chest. So if happy baby is not a good position for you, I invite you to try taking pigeon this way on the back. So you can also do supine pigeon. This might be more familiar, crossing the ankle over the thigh. That's great, do that. Or just try, what happens if you hold onto the leg as if you were in pigeon? And then this knee can be bent. That might be the most accessible. You might, if you have a little more flexibility, stretch out that leg. And you can stay in pigeon, or if you're interested in taking like a half happy baby, try half happy baby here. So I'm holding on to my left foot, but you could do either side. We're gonna just do the same thing on each side. So knee is bent, sole of foot up towards ceiling like happy baby, only I'm only doing it on one side. And so it gives an opportunity to stretch the hips, possibly a little more deeply. And let's change sides in your own time. And remember, you can start with your left knee bent and you're holding onto your right shin, or just change the left and right if you did the other side. You can hang out here. You could stretch your left leg out. You could be in this variation of pigeon on the back, and you can move from there into half happy baby. And from there, hugging your knees into your chest, just take a little rock side to side. You can decide how you want to finish your practice. You could end right here, stretch out into Shavasana. If your body would love a little twist, add a twist here. And I just invite you to twist any way that feels good to your body. If you're going into the twist, enjoy it. Why not? And once you've twisted to both sides and you feel complete with your practice, you can come into Shavasana. You might rest in constructive rest with the knees together if that would feel best to your body, or maybe just stretching out long. You can get extra clothing if you think you'll need it. Allow your eyes to close and turn your focus inward to your breath again. You might take a few moments for a body scan, scanning from your head to your toes, feeling if there's any residual holding or tightness that you can feel, and actively let go. Take several deep breaths in and out. And feel your fingers, feel your toes. Maybe you want to take a stretch. You get to find your own way to come up to a seated position, and you can also just stay as you are, laying back. And we can close our practice together. Yeah. You can bring your hands to your heart in a way that feels authentic to you. It could be prayer hands or hands on your heart, open palms. Just take a moment to feel. So much gratitude for these teachings and for the ability to come together to practice, to have an adventure, to get really playful together. Yeah. May you be safe. May you be healthy. And may you live in peace.